Hey, hope y'all are doing great. This is day 4 of Code Beats, and we're going to get started right at 10 a.m. Until then, enjoy the beats. It's day 4 of Code Beats. Hope y'all are doing great. Shout out to the early joiners like Paper the Great, Florin, LH, Johnny Cash Brooks, Orange Milk, Loveski, Kristen, Mariah, Sniperman 300X, William. Hope y'all are doing great. We're going to be starting right at 10 a.m. Until then, enjoy some beats. All right. It is day 4 of Code Beats. Hope y'all are having a great start to your day. We're going to get started here in just about 4 more minutes, right at 10 a.m. Until then, enjoy the beats. Give a couple shout outs here. ETO High Flash Shorts, shout out. Who else? PTB Germ, shout out. William, shout out. Who else have I not hit up yet? Paper the Great, shout out. Hope y'all are doing great. Enjoy the beats. All right. Welcome to Code Beats Day 4. It is 10 a.m. Y'all know we get started right on time. Welcome to Code Beats Day 4.
Rhythm and sequence, making it pretty like sequence. Toning up on the frequency. What is the pretense? None of your defense. Ableton reason consecutive leap. Crashing the buggy, you land on the beat. 1 and the 2, so you land on your feet. 127, the max of the beat. Trolling the variable, writing a parable. Beat is hysterical, notes getting relevant. Just for the heck of it, sound like an elephant. Gently ascended it, then I descended it. Change the parameter, flexing capacitor. Making it shorter, Sydney is portier. Chords on the notary jump. So importantly, rhythm and sequences while we're recording it. Rhythm and sequences while we are touring the rhythm. To sequence this beat, I'm destroying it.
Alright, welcome to day 4 of Code Beats. Y'all know how we do it. We always like to start off right here in Mentimeter. Let me give you that link actually real quick. We like to start off in Mentimeter to get y'all a little bit warmed up, okay? Sometimes, you're still waking up. You haven't eaten your Pop-Tart all the way. We need to kind of stretch it out. As you can tell, I've been stretching it out. I've been doing a little dancing to get myself going. Y'all need to do a little mental dancing, okay? Get yourself going. What we're going to do is, as always, we're going to finish that line. We're going to give you the first line in a hip-hop song, and we expect you to figure out what's the next line. All right, check it out. Here we go. Get logged into Menti, and here we go. Finish that line. Today's line: if we hop in the Benz, is that okay? Is it okay if I call you my... How do you finish that line? Baby, Little Bay, Prada Bay, or Shorty A? The options today are Baby, Little Bay, Prada Bay, or Shawty A. What do y'all think? This is a pretty popular, relatively recent song, so I expect y'all might know this one. If we hop in the Benz, is that okay? Is it okay if I call you my what? What do y'all think? We're getting people logged into Menti. Oh yeah, it's Roddy Ricch. Somebody knows. Somebody knows. Roddy Ricch. Exactly. Y'all know what's going on with some of this hip hop. One of the other times we did this class, I had at least 2 or 3 people that were country fans instead of hip hop fans, and they didn't know any of this stuff. But y'all are on top of it. Way to go. All right, let's see what the real answer is. The real answer is Prada Bay. Of course, some of y'all know this is from the Roddy Ricch song, High Fashion. Check it out. Here is exactly where it came from.
If we hop in the Benz, is that okay? Is it okay if I call you my Prada Bay? I ain't no player, I just got a lot of bait. But let me tell you, I like you a lot, babe. I wanna start at the top and the bottom, babe. Now you want the shoe with the red at the bottom, babe. You know I like when you right at the top, babe. She wants Sinead and D-Yo-Yo. I'm only doing cash, I don't need promo. I pull up to the high rise, I'm in the fofo. Inside Coco. If I got a feeling, I keep it inside my heart. And I keep a pedicure cause I don't do facades. You can see my diamonds even when I'm in the...
All right, sorry, I got carried away there. There we go. High Fashion, Roddy Ricch. That's where today's Finish That Line came from. Most of y'all knew that one, so excellent work. Now, today we're starting off getting right down to the music. Today, we're kind of combining some of the concepts that we've gone over earlier this week. We're combining some of the ideas behind rhythm, but also some of the ideas behind the pitch or melody or musical aspect of things. We're kind of putting these things together. We're making them one. We're talking about rhythm, and we're talking about pitch and music, putting them together, rhythm and melody. That's what today's Decoding the Beat's about. Check it out. Taylor's going to let you know all the details you need to know in order to do awesome on today's activities and after class activity. Take it away, Taylor.
Hey everybody, Taylor Barnett from VC Music here with your music lesson. Today, you're going to be combining rhythm and pitch to create an original melody. Now, melodies can be fast or slow, they can have a lot of notes or very few, they can consist of nearly continuous sound, or they can contain silence. More on that in a minute. So, there's no real hard and fast rules for this. However, my suggestion for you is to start with the rhythm. That way you have something kind of concrete, a framework upon which to lay the notes, so to speak. As we learned in the previous lesson, when we're dealing with rhythm, the first thing is to identify what the beat is, and then what the subdivision of the beat is. Today's song is Still Dre by Dr. Dre, so let's check it out and listen for the beat. So that's the beat, and each of those would be coded as a 1. Now, the chords that we were hearing, the those are twice as fast, or half as long, depending on how you want to look at it, so they would be coded as a 0.5. Now, the melody can have long notes, which would be longer than 1, probably, maybe like a 2 or a 3, or it could be a 2.5. And or you can have some faster rhythms. So you can have rhythms that are even faster than the 0.5s we hear on the chords in the keyboard. As an example, I came up with a melody for Still Dre, and the rhythm of my melody is... So to code that rhythm, I would first need to tap the beat while I speak it and figure out the relationship between each note and the beat. You'll probably find this is easier to do slower than the recording, so you have time to really concentrate on it. So for instance, 1, dun, dun, dun. So that would be a whole beat, then 2 halves of a beat. Now you may have noticed that that first beat is actually silent, which we would code with the words rest and then however long. So in this case, a rest 1. Now I didn't mention this in the previous lessons, but one of the most important aspects of music is that not only can sound be rhythmic, but silences that punctuate the sound are also ways to express rhythm and groove, and they're really important. After the beat of rest, there are 2 notes that fit within one beat, so they would be 2 0.5s. The next 2 notes are a beat long, so 1, followed by 1.5, and a 0.5, and then a 2. I can be sure that this is going to fit the underlying music because it adds up to 8, and that's how many beats long the pattern is. Let's listen to the rhythm again and notice the code. Rest. Now, regarding what notes I can choose from, I'll stick with notes from the scale or key. A scale is a succession of notes that includes all 7 letters of the musical alphabet without skipping or repeating any. A scale can start on any note. It doesn't have to start on A. It could start on B, C, D, E, F, or G. And a scale can have any combination of sharps or flats as well to create different sounds. Technically, scale and key aren't the same thing, but we often use them interchangeably when we're talking about music. So, if we know what scale or key a song is in, we'll know what 7 notes every instrument and voice will be using to make the chords and bass line. The scale used in Still Dre is called E minor, which means it uses all the musical letters starting on E, and in this case has 1 sharp, which is on F sharp. It sounds like this. We'll draw from those same notes to make a melody that'll fit well and sound good. Now, we'll get more into chords in a subsequent lesson, but for now you just need to know that a chord is a subset of notes from a scale, usually 3 or 4, that sound simultaneously. Usually we try to emphasize those same notes in our melody for the best fit. In Still Dre there are 2 chords, each lasting 4 beats. The first chord includes the notes A, C, and E, and the second chord contains E, G, and B. When I use these notes with my rhythm, I get E, A, C, A, B, G, E. So, in summary, pitch and rhythm combine to make a melody, and when we want to create an original melody, we first want to come up with a rhythm that'll be in a multiple of 4 beats so that it'll fit the meter. Still Dre's chord progression is 8 beats long, or 2 measures, so that's why I chose 8 beats for my rhythm. Melodies can use fast or slow notes, or a combination of both. And don't forget that we can, and probably should, use some rest for silence at some point. Once we have a rhythm, we'll use notes from the scale or key to ensure that it'll sound good with the chords and bass. Of course, you can always change the rhythm after you've come up with some notes, so feel free to experiment and make some tweaks as you go. Have fun, y'all.
All right, thanks, Taylor. Taylor is really good at music, it turns out. What he was telling us today is kind of how to put the ideas of rhythm and pitch together. Okay, so let's say you wanted to write a melody on a song. What should you write first? If you were going to write a melody to a song, what should you write first? Hit me up in the chat. What do y'all think you should do first? So, if we were going to write a melody for a song, what's the first thing that you would do? Let me know. Right in the chat. Some people are saying rhythm. Some people are saying scale. Some people are saying remix. That's actually good. Rhythm. Okay. So there's lots of things that are good answers here, actually. You should hit remix, of course. But you should maybe start with a rhythm. Okay? So let's say I wanted to create a melody. First, I might start with a rhythm like ba 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 ba. Okay? That's all the same note, but I have a rhythm. You could make an even simpler rhythm like ba 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 ba. Okay? Or you can make many different rhythms like ba 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 ba. Okay? Any kind of rhythm you want. Just play around with it, mess around with it, figure out exactly kind of what you're going for, what kind of vibe you're going for. It's good to have some fast sections, some slow sections. Then, once you have the rhythm, you're going to start adding notes to it, right? Like, so instead of like ba 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 ba, which is all the same notes, maybe you want to go ba 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 ba, you know? So you want to start playing around and making some shape to that melody. Go up and down, but don't go too far up or don't go too far down. Another key thing that people kind of like don't do enough of, and this is true in life as well as music, is silence is good. What do I mean by that? Well, think about your favorite melody, your favorite song. There's always lots of space in between the talking, right? One of my favorite rap songs right now, What's Poppin' by Jack Harlow, has a lot of breaks, even in the kind of like chorus part. And that really is what kind of makes the song, right? So having silence between different parts of your melody, that's really important. Okay, so rhythm and pitch. Start with rhythm, then add the pitch. That's what we're talking about today. Next up, we're going to get into the details of how to do the coding part of this thing. And of course, it's everybody's favorite, Brazilian. Doug is going to tell us exactly the details of the code that we need to know in order to write the code for today, and also, of course, to write our beats later on in the week. All right, so take it away, Doug. Today's Coding with Doug section. Here we go.
Hello everyone, welcome to Code with Doug at Code Beats. So far we saw how to use command play note that play a musical note or an instrument where we can use a variable or a constant as a parameter. And also we saw how to use parameter beats that controls for how long each play note will play. So we can use value 1, that is the default value, or values different than 1, for instance 0.5 or 2, as we have here at this melody. And today we are going to see two different new parameters. The first one is parameter sustain. With this parameter we can control for how long each play note will sound. It's almost the same as parameter beats, but here we can use values different than the values that we are using at parameter beats. For instance, here we can play this note C for 1 beat at these parameter beats, but we can keep it playing for 2 beats. And it can overlap other play notes that we are using here. For instance, we are playing it here for 2 beats, but together we are playing other 2 notes here that are note D and note E. It is overlapping. So let's hear it. And also we can keep for 4 beats, then we are playing note C for 4 beats, that is a measure. But together we are playing more 3 notes, D, E, and F. Can you hear note C and together D, E, and F? One more time. Also, a new parameter that we can use here, we can control the loudness of each play note. So this parameter is parameter velocity. The default value is 100 and you can control from 0 to 127. Here we can use value 50 and here we are going to play it with a lower volume than the other play notes. Let's hear this. Here I have a melody that we can adjust using these two new parameters. First, let's hear this melody alone. Here we can use, for instance, the parameter sustain, and we can keep note E playing for 1.25 beats. So we are playing together note E with note A here. And we also can adjust the volume parameter, velocity, and let's play for volume 50. And also you can use these parameters with a different instrument as bass, for instance here. And finally we can play all tracks together. I have a drum track here, kick and hats, the bass and melody. Let's listen it. And that's it for today. We saw how to use parameter sustain and parameter velocity. Thank you. See you next time.
All right, awesome, Doug. Thanks so much. I love the thinking bubble that was over Doug's head there at the end. That's hilarious. All right, so Doug walked us through how to use parameters. Now, parameters are ways that you can change the way PlayNote works. Remember, PlayNote is a command, and it takes a parameter like what note to play, but it also takes other additional parameters if you want to, such as how loud to play it and how long to play it. So, for instance, sustain controls how long you play it. So if you think of that Snoop Dogg song that we were playing earlier, remember it went doom, boop, beep, 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 beep. Those notes are very short, right? Like boo, beep. However, sometimes you want to have long notes, okay? You want to have your notes hold out for a long time. You might want to be like Snoop Doggy Dog, right? Like those are long. Those are all long notes. They're not short notes. So you might want to hold out your notes for a couple beats. So that's what you would use sustain for. You would use sustain to hold out a note for more than one beat. So normally your note would only play for one beat, like ba. However, with sustain, you could have it play for two beats, like ba. Okay? Or you could have it play for three beats. Ba. All right? Get it? Now, velocity. Who can tell me what is velocity? What does velocity do for you? Let me know in the chat. See if y'all were paying attention. What does velocity do? Let me know in the chat. What does velocity do? Let me know. What does velocity do? Hit me up in the chat. What does velocity do? Let's see if y'all were paying attention. Ah, there we go. There we go. All right. Y'all are on it. So velocity, by changing that, if you had a velocity of like a 10, it might be like ba. If you had a velocity of like 100, it might be like ba. Okay, get it? It's not rocket science. Sustain is how long. Boop. versus boop. And velocity is how loud. Versus rah. All right, I think you guys got it. Now, to make sure you got it, let's do a worked example here together. Now, remember, worked example means what? That means I do it, you watch it. I do it, you watch it. So you don't want to ask me for the link because I'm not going to give it to you because I do it and you watch it. So check it out. Here we go. Today's worked example sounds like this. All right, so pretty familiar song. Let's see what the directions are for today's worked example. It is, of course, we hit Remix and Tune Pad, and I will use the continuous guest, but you guys need to sign in. That's something you need to do. All right, so I am going ahead and signing in, and now let's go to the first track, the melody, and fix the melody, changing the values for parameter and velocity that makes sense to the whole beat. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are gonna look into this first track, okay? And we're gonna be updating the velocity values to try and make something sound good. So let's hear what's going on in track number 1 right now. You guys hear something that's weird there? Just listening to it. What do you hear that's wrong? Can you tell me what's wrong just by listening to it? What do you think's wrong just by listening to it? Yeah. I need to turn up some of the notes. I think that's a well stated, some notes are too quiet or silent. Oh, and when I start looking at this code, like y'all are saying, there's velocities that are too low, like 50 and 0 and, So why not let's make the velocities all the same. That seems like a good idea, right? Velocities all the same. So I'm going to start making them the same. But you know what? Typing 100 a bunch of times is kind of annoying. So why don't I just use this? I'll make a volume. I'll call this volume. And I will use that. And then when I change volume, it'll change in every place. So instead of typing 100 a bunch of times, I can put volume in here. And then when I change it, I only have to change it in that one place, not in all these places. Okay? So if I just put 100 in here and I decided to change it to 101, then I would have to go and change all those places. But now I only have to change whatever I put here. Now, let's listen to it. Alright, so that sounds pretty good when it's by itself. Let's see what it sounds like when it's with the whole track. Actually, that sounds pretty good. I thought that was going to be too quiet, but I think that's pretty good. But let's say you wanted it just a little bit quieter. Let's try that. All you have to do is change that one parameter. Then the sound will change for all of those. Let's hear what that sounds like, starting right here. You can tell that's probably too soft. So I think 50 was the right way to go. So let's go back to 50. And let's hit play again. Yeah. So that's good. We could even try something louder, like y'all are suggesting. We could go for 100. Let's see what 100 sounds like. Sounds pretty good too. So I think 50 or 100 would both sound pretty good. All right, let's so 50 or 100 would both sound pretty good. I think we're kind of like good here, so I think we fixed this. Now remember, the other thing that we're supposed to do in this track is fix the intro for the track, okay? There are some sustain things that need to go. All right, so let's hit play. All right, so just, you don't even have to read the code in this track, but do you see something, like let's just look at the visualization. Do you all see something that needs to be fixed here? You know? Y'all see something that needs to be fixed? What do you think? Sustain. So I agree the sustain probably needs to be fixed. So here we have these two that are holding out 4 beats and even 8 beats. And I think these two are actually holding out too short. So let's look at this one. I'm going to make this one right here longer. All right, and you'll see, oh, all of a sudden that sustain is longer. That changes the way it sounds, right? But now we have that other note that's only being held out 1 beat. Let's make that one held out for 4 beats, and this one's for 8. That's weird. Let's just do that for 4 too. So now we have them all holding out 4 beats. They're all playing for the same amount of time. Let's hear that. Okay, and so now the whole chord is being sustained for the whole measure, and that's kind of what we were going for. Let's hear what that sounds like in the context of the entire song. All right, cool. So I think we fixed it. Excellent. Now, we've done that one together, and you know what? It's now your turn. We're going to give you this. Well, let's listen to the beat together real quick first. That's the beat we're going to be working on today. Here is the worked example. Here's the example for the class activity. This is class activity 1. It sounds like this. And here comes a beat drop right about now. And what is your job today? Your job is to go to the first track, the melody, and fix the melody, changing the value for the sustain, okay? So we're going to try and fix it. Now, this one's tricky. I'm going to give you some hints here, okay? You see this area where there's 3 notes that all play at the same time, and one of them holds out for longer, and these 2 are short? Maybe they should all be the same. And there's also some other opportunities in this track where this kind of same thing happens. And I bet these were all meant to be holding out the same amount of time. That's all I'm going to say about that, but I just wanted to give you all a little hint. Make sure you hit Remix and TunePad, use your username and password, and y'all got 5 minutes. 5 minutes to go out there and do this activity. Get out there, and we'll come back in 5 and discuss. Go! right, there's at least two problems in the current tune you should be trying to solve. All right. Come on back. All right. We are now going to take a quick look at this one together. And what is this? Class activity number, nope, we're at number 1, I believe. Okay. So for this one, check it out. Here's what we're doing. Let's listen to it. And as I mentioned, the problem here is these notes, they all start together, but they don't end together, okay? So there's one note that plays longer and these two stop, and I don't think that was on purpose. That doesn't sound kind of right to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make all 3 of these notes the same length. So you can see that these notes all start, like these are the 3 notes that all kind of start together. And you can see that one of them sustains 2, but the other sustain only 1. And I bet that's probably the issue. So I'm going to fix just one of those and see how things change, okay? Let's see. Oh, look. So I changed one of those to 2, and you can see now that we have 2 of those things that are going the full length. And now, hey, I'll just do that again. And, oh, now all 3. Let's hear what that sounds like. You'll hear the difference, I think. So now it still sounds weird right in here where these notes all start together, but then this one sustains and this one doesn't. So let's try and figure out where this is, where those notes start together. And it looks like that's probably right here. The way I could figure that out is, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes, and then this starts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes, and then, oh, this is probably the 3 notes in question here that should probably be, starting together. And look, we kind of have the same problem. There's a sustain 2, but these two guys have just a sustain 1. So we want to make these the same. All right, so I'm going to put that to 2, and I'm just going to check. Yep, that fixed part of our problem. And then if I put this one to 2, and we check, oh yeah, that fixes our whole problem. We have something like this, which sounds a lot more like what we want it to sound like. Here we go. All right, cool. So that is this one. Great work on that. Now, what did y'all think about that activity? Was that one, that one was a little harder, I'm going to admit. But what did y'all think? Was that too hard, too easy, too awesome? What do y'all think? Tell me your opinion about that activity. So get back in Menti, let me know, what do you think? I'll give y'all just a few seconds to get in there and let me know. We're always trying to make this class better and better, so we want to know what y'all think about these activities. So it's really important that you kind of just take a sec, click through, let us know what you think about that particular activity. Too hard, too easy, too awesome, too lame, etc. All right, awesome. Thanks so much. Y'all are doing great today. Now, we've talked a lot about parameters, but we haven't actually precisely defined what the heck a parameter is for y'all. And so that's something that I want to do. We use words that to talk about code very precisely, and you're going to want to be able to talk to each other about code. You're going to be like, hey, you want to change this parameter. Maybe you don't know exactly what the word parameter means. So let's take a minute just to get to know the vocabulary of coding just a little bit more so that we can talk to each other about code and kind of communicate and help each other make our beats even cooler. All right, here we go. Parameters. What are they?
Parameters are the variables, constants, or simply values that are passed into functions. For example, when ordering a pizza, the parameters would be the ingredients given to the workers before they start the process. Or when searching online, the parameters would be the words you would put in the search box. Specifically, parameters are the variables used in the function definition, in this case, a and b. They each take the place of a value to be used in the function. Not all functions use parameters, but some use many. It all depends on what the method is doing. Remember these three things. Parameters are special types of variables used for functions. Only use as many parameters as the function calls for. Parameters are the way to pass values to a function. Have fun coding!
All right, so that's a little bit more in depth about what a parameter is, and that kind of stuff is important because when you're talking to each other about code, it's really important that you use the right words so that you know what you're talking about. So like if you're going to give somebody feedback on their code, then you need to say, hey, like that parameter is wrong, or that command is wrong, or that needs to be changed. And so we need to know these words. So that's why we're going through those. Now, of course, we're going to practice one more time here before we get to our quiz. Let's listen to the beat that we're going to be using for practice today. Check it. One of my favorites. Wait till it drops. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, what I love about this song is so simple, but it's it's just a really nice beat, right? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to go into this link, activity 2. It sounds like this in TunePad. All right, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to look down here. What do we do? Of course, after we hit remix, go to the first track, the melody, and fix the melody, changing the value for the parameter velocity to create a melody that sounds good. So what do we mean by that? Well, you'll notice, kind of like in one of our early examples, there might be some different values for some of the notes here. And so maybe you want to make them consistent. So it's up to you how you do that. But that's what we're up to. You got about 5 minutes. Make sure you use your username and password. We'll be back in 5 to talk about it. Go, 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 go! all right. Come on back. We're going to look at the activity together, so come on back. All right, let's look at this activity together real quick. Now, let's say we decided to change. What do y'all think I should do first? Who's going to tell me what do you think I should do? Can anybody tell me what step 1 might be here, right in this activity? What do you think I should do to finish this activity? Who can tell me? Hit me up in the chat. What do you think I should do? Change velocity. That is a good idea, but how should I do that? Change the velocity, increase the velocity, excellently. All right, so you can change the velocity, true, but how about we go for defining something called volume equals, let's say, 50. And then I can use volume here, and I can just copy and paste it all over. And remember, once I do that, I'm copying and pasting. Then I only have to change it in one place, the original place, and it changes it all over. So you can see volume is 50, so it's 50 in all these places. When I play it, if I were to change that to like 10, you hear the difference? I changed it. Or if I could change it to like 100, hear the difference? So it's kind of cool that I can just change it in one place like that. That's a good sounding beat. All right, before I get too distracted, what do you think about that activity? Too hard, too easy, too awesome, too sleazy? What do you think? Tell me your opinion about that activity. We want to hear from you, the people. People, tell us what's up. We need to know what y'all think of it because, you know, we're old people. We don't know what's cool. We don't know what's easy. We don't know what's hard. We need y'all's opinion. Y'all have the info. We need the info. Help me out. Help Doug out. Doug doesn't want to stay a PhD student forever. He needs y'all to answer his surveys so that he can graduate eventually. I mean, he loves doing code beats, but he doesn't want to do it for the next 20 years. You know what I'm saying? He needs to get a PhD. All right, y'all are helping Mr. Doug out. That's excellent. You know what? I think it's about that time that we can put on some glasses here. Here we go. All right, cool. So we got some of y'all's opinions. Thank you so much for giving us your opinion about that activity. But I also want to hear, what do you think about the songs? Were the songs fire today, pretty good, or super bad? What do you think? Super awesome, super bad, super good? Let me know what you think of the songs today. Be honest. It's okay if you didn't like it. It's not a big deal, okay? Just be honest with us so we can know exactly which songs we should kind of favor, which songs we should kind of maybe not use anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, let us know. How'd you like the music today? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you all so much. Now, we're going to talk about today's after-class activity. It is based on, well, I'm going to show you in a second, but it's based on this song. Make sure if you want to, you share it with us. Let me show you kind of what it sounds like here. It is based on Straightenin' by Migos. Here we go. Let's listen. Pretty awesome. What are we going to do with it? Of course, we're going to hit remix, and we're going to go to the first track, the melody, and create a melody using the commands play note and we can use sustain or whatever other parameters we might like, okay? So there is an example of a melody here, but your job is to make a super awesome melody that is, different from this. So just do whatever you want. Make some melodies. You explore what it's like to use these different parameters, velocity and sustain and beats. These are all parameters. And that is your after class activity. Remember, we expect you to spend about 15 minutes to hours messing around with this beat afterwards. We usually put a little extra effort into this beat so that you'll have a lot of fun messing around with it. All right, so that's the after class activity for today. And we are going to go ahead and start the quiz for today. Remember, make sure you use the same quiz name as you did last time. All right, here we go. We are starting the countdown. Good luck, Penguin. Let's go. Answer fast to get more points. Which parameter controls the volume of the play note command? Which parameter controls the volume? Is it volume? Is it sustain? Is it beats? Or is it velocity? Let me know. Volume, sustain, beats, or velocity? What do you think? Which one do we use to control the volume of the notes? Going for accuracy is a good plan, by the way. I like that. Oh yeah, a lot of y'all were paying attention. Velocity is how we control the loudness of the notes. Velocity, excellent. Way to go, y'all. Gracilia, way to go. Question 2 of 5. Let's go. Can I overlap musical notes in TunePad? Meaning, can I play more than one note at a time? If so, how? Yes, with the parameter velocity. Yes, with the parameter overlap. Yes, with the parameter sustain. Or no, it is not possible. How could you play two notes at the same time? How would you ever possibly do that in TunePad? Try and figure it out. Oh yeah, sustain is the way that you would do that. Sustain is the way you would do that. Very good. Y'all are getting better each day. Let's see. Angela, Beat Buddy, Music Obsession Girl, Lina Billy, Adhahe, Layla, Jeff, Neurosurgeon. Way to go. Y'all are doing great. Angela, excellent work so far. Which notes should I use to create a melody? Which notes should I use to create a melody? Should I use random notes? Should I use notes from the key? Should I use notes from the scale? Should I use A, B, and C? What do you think? Just random? Beep, boop, beep, beep, beep. Notes from the key? La, la, la. Notes from the scale? La, 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 la. Or just A, B, and C always? What do you think? Which notes should I use? Both the notes from the key and the notes from the scale are great answers. The idea here is when you create a melody, you want to pay attention to the context of the melody, the music around you, and you don't want to clash with those notes. So that's exactly what we're getting at. Most of y'all got that right. Excellent. You're on your way to becoming a hip-hop genius. Question 4 or 5. Which one is not a parameter for the command play note? Which one is not a parameter? Beats, note, velocity, or sustain? Beats, note, velocity, or sustain? This is hard. Doug threw in some hard ones today, huh? Let's see. Let's see what y'all do with this one. And that's right, note is not a parameter. There is no parameter called note. You do send in the note, but that's a tough one. So that's a really tricky one. Woo! Great job for getting that one right. I was sweating on that one. All right, our final question with Gracelia. Zachary in the lead. The girls dominating today. Question 5 of 5. Here we go. What value should I use for the velocity parameter to play it louder than the default? Should I use 100, 127, 80, or 0? So if you want to make it louder than normal, what parameter value would you use? If you want to make it louder than normal, what would you do? You want to make it super loud. And some of you know 127 is the only correct answer. 100 is the default value. So it has to be higher than 100 to be louder. Let's see who got it right today. Who's our winner for today? Lots of people got it right in our upper echelon here. It's going to be really tight. But it looks like Gracelia is our winner for today. Way to go, Gracelia. Followed by Beat Buddy, Music Obsession Girl. I can't see who that is. Angela, Gloria, Paper the Great, Mariah, Sunstige, Jeremiah. Great job to everybody. Thank you for playing today. Excellent, excellent work. Y'all are a great class. All right. So remember, there is that after class activity. We just gave you the link. Doug, if you can please give them the link to that after class activity again. Give them the link to that after class activity again. I guess I'll give them the link to the Zoom again. If you want to hang out and get some tips on how to make your beat even cooler, come to the Zoom today. But make sure you also do your after-class activity. That's crucial to continuing to develop as a coder and as a musician so that by the end of next week, or really by the middle of next week, you can make an excellent beat on your very own. Now, I'll pause just for a second to see if you got any questions. Does anybody have any serious questions? I already have my glasses on, so you don't have to ask me to do that. I'll pause for just a second here and see if y'all have any serious questions you want to put in here on Menti. Looks like E is not the most serious of questions, but you know. No, I can't see who's asking questions. Doe. We did start Code Beats last year, I think, and what inspired us to do it is that we love computers, we love computer science, but you know the way they teach computer science usually is super boring. So we decided, hey, we love music, we love computers, let's try and make learning to code a lot more exciting as it should be because it's kind of fun, and let's do it, you know, by making hip hop beats. Hello. Blah! All right. Yes, you can always make songs on your own. Always make songs on your own. Just go to TunePad and make your own new song. Go for it. Hi there. August 25th. Okay. I have two cats. Ooh, the baby. He's excellent. The prize for the winner of the Beats competition, remember there's 10 winners actually, and the prize is that you get your beat produced and made on an album that will be released to the public and on like Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, etc., Amazon Music. Good morning. And yeah, you will likely use some of these concepts in your class next year, and I do have a PhD, and you can definitely make your own beats for the contest. And maybe. Okay. All right. I hope y'all have a great day. Y'all have been a great class today. I will see y'all tomorrow. Take it easy.